Greetings. Today we continue with Why the Shepherds. We have just read 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 21 through 25, where Peter is focusing upon the shepherding aspects of Jesus' ministry. And Peter admonishes us to follow his steps. I believe he's referring to the work of shepherding when he says that. This is certainly true if we validate the opening phrase of 1 Peter 2:21, for even hereunto were you called. Do you and I comprehend the fact that God has chosen the vocation of shepherding for each and every one of his children? More importantly, are we faithfully fulfilling this task which has been assigned to us? In 1 Peter 5, verses 1 through 4, Peter plainly exhorts others to follow Jesus' example of shepherding also. When he says, "The elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed." Feed. The word feed literally means do the work of a shepherd for the flock of God. Feed the flock of God, God's sheep, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, not because we have to, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, not for material advantage, but of a ready mind, neither as being lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd shall appear, you, those who have been faithful shepherds, shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Now Peter had denied the Lord 3 times on the night of his betrayal by Judas, which resulted in the crucifixion the next day according to God's plans. The scriptures record in Luke 22 and verse 62 that Peter went out and wept bitterly over that failure. In John 21:3, we find this declaration. John saith unto them, that's the other 6 disciples that are listed as being with him there, I go a fishing. And they say unto him, we also go with thee. Now we never might fully understand this great change in Peter unless we truly understand the recent incident from John chapter 21, verses 15 through 17. 3 times, once for each denial, Jesus commands Peter to do the work of a shepherd with his sheep, not to return to fishing, but continue being a shepherd. In conclusion, let's return our thoughts to those shepherds of Bethlehem's field on that first Christmas night. Those shepherds were faithfully discharging their duties. But when given a specific announcement, they went immediately to observe for themselves what they believed to be true. Then the good news, the gospel, they shared with everyone. They made known abroad the saying. They returned to their flock, giving glory and praise to God. These are the same tasks which God expects from us today. An old hymn called "The 90 and 9" by Ira Sankey says, there were 90 and 9 that safely lay in the shelter of the fold, but one was out on the hills far away, far off from the gates of gold. Away on the mountains wild and bare, away from the tender shepherd's care, away from the tender shepherd's care. Lord, thou hast here thy 90 and 9. Are they not enough for thee? But the shepherd made answer, this of mine has wandered away from me. And although the road be rough and steep, I go to the desert to find my sheep. I go to the desert to find my sheep. But none of the ransomed ever knew how deep were the waters crossed, nor how dark was the night that the Lord passed through, ere he found his sheep that was lost. Out in the desert he heard its cry, sick and helpless and ready to die, sick and helpless and ready to die. Lord, whence are those blood drops all the way that mark out the mountain's track? They were shed for one who had gone astray, ere the shepherds could bring him back. But all through the mountains thunder riven, and up from the rocky steep, there rose a glad cry to the gates of heaven, Rejoice, I have found my sheep. And the angels echoed around the throne, Rejoice, for the Lord brings back his own. Rejoice, for the Lord brings back his own. Are you the lost sheep who the shepherd came to rescue and can cause rejoicing in heaven? Are you the one of the 99 who do not believe they need to be saved? Listen to the message which the shepherds received and shared. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord.